Hi, my name's Jason, and a few years back I received an X-Acto knife set that's just kind of been rattling around in this metal case ever since. So, for my design for manufacture class, I thought I'd make something a little more convenient. So I did it.
I started by making the 4x6 inch balsa wood inserts by marking the general dimensions of the corner square, using that same corner square to make some nice straight lines. I then carefully followed these lines with an X-Acto knife. This wood is thin and brittle enough that it just takes a shallow cut and some force to shear it. This does leave some rough edges which can be cleaned up with a knife. With the inserts cut to their general dimensions, it's time for the belt sander. Running these on the belt sander gives them a much smoother and straighter edge, making them easier to insert. Next is the plastic pouches for the knives and spare blades. I used one of the squares I just cut out to act as a guide and cut 1 to 1.5 inches away from the edge for 3 different pieces. It doesn't need to be exact as it will be trimmed later. The material I purchased is pretty thin, so it'll have to be applied together manually in 3 layers. The first thing to do is to flatten it out a bit to prevent bubbles and wrinkles. To do this, I used a heat gun on high to soften the material and push out wrinkles. I then carefully wrapped each separately around a metal tube to let them cool under mild tension to keep them flat. From there, it's time to put them together. With one sheet wrapped around the tube and the other flat on the table, we need to heat both and carefully roll one layer of material onto the other. We then repeat this with the third sheet to finish. Now we can place our handles and spare blade cases into the material to cut it to approximate size. Don't worry about making it too big, it'll be trimmed later. Time to make the canvas base. First I cut a roll of canvas to 7.5 inches before unrolling it, marking it at 18 inches, and cutting, before repeating to create 2 7.5 by 18 canvas sheets. I combine the 2 sheets by laying one on top of the other and folding the edge to 1/4 inch twice before pinning and sewing. After doing the same thing to the 2 long edges, I had an opening to place in the first insert, begin hand sewing the pockets in place, trimming the excess plastic as I went. With the pocket secured, I sealed in the insert before making another space for the other insert, placing it inside, and enclosing the finished assembly.